Everyone, thank you for joining us for our new 1 hour long KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We begin tonight as a Spokane man accused of assaulting a 19-month-old baby girl is now charged with second-degree murder. Mickey Brown Jr. was previously charged with first-degree assault after the child suffered fatal injuries. Just 3 days after he was arrested, Azalea Rain Redhorse Jones died in the hospital as a result from those injuries. Now, according to newly filed court documents, Brown was in a relationship with the baby's mother. He was living with them and watching the child while her mother went to work. Witnesses described Azalea to investigators as normal and healthy when they saw her the morning before she was taken to the hospital. Doctors say the child suffered multiple severe injuries. They determined that she was a victim of abusive head trauma. Now, based on witness accounts of Azalea before she was injured and reports from doctors, investigators believe Brown committed second-degree murder. He appeared in court for that charge today, and a judge set his bond at $1 million.
Also in Spokane County Court today, the suspect accused of fatally shooting a man outside a downtown Spokane bar back in July had his charges upgraded as well. Michael Lee was arrested for the death of 22-year-old Jacoby Ford, a former Shadle Park High School athlete. The suspect is now charged with premeditated first-degree murder. Now, he was originally arrested for second-degree murder. According to court documents, Ford was dating a woman that Lee had a child with. Before the fatal shooting, Ford told police that Lee sent him a Facebook message where he threatened to shoot and kill him. Ford's mother provided investigators additional Facebook messages between her son and Lee with more threats about killing her son. She was in court this afternoon for Lee's hearing. She told KREM 2 she was aware of Lee's ongoing threats against her son, which is why she is glad to see these charges upgraded to first-degree murder.
It's been months that he's been talking about this, so it's only right that they do get upgraded. It's just bittersweet because, you know, my son's gone. But we have a lot of support and everybody will be here for everything, you know. Not that that's going to bring him back, but just so everybody knows how loved he was.
Family and friends of Ford filled the courtroom for Lee's court appearance this afternoon. The judge set his bond at $1 million.
Also today, the man accused of shooting his wife and her daughter in Airway Heights back in July is also facing additional charges. Zion Carter was first charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. Earlier this week, charges of additional robbery, unlawful possession of a firearm, and interfering with the reporting of domestic violence were also filed against him. Court documents detail what led up to the shooting as well and how he ended up turning himself in to the Pierce County Sheriff's Office over on the west side. His wife said he accused her of being out to get him during an argument. Documents say he told her he was going to go get some rest, but instead came back into the room with a gun and shot her. His wife's 11-year-old daughter said after he shot her, she played dead, hoping that he wouldn't shoot her again. She then ran to neighboring houses trying to get help. She told police she tried to hold her blood in so that he wouldn't be able to track her down. Carter told police he eventually did turn himself in because he heard his wife was going to be paralyzed. He is expected to make his next court appearance on September 8th. A lot of heavy news there at the first beginning of our show, but let's talk about the bright spot today, which ended up being a really beautiful day outside.
Love the blue sky and sunshine, the good air quality as well. We do have another frost advisory to talk about, not for the Spokane area, but all those other areas surrounding us, especially those areas that are shaded in blue, mostly in northern Idaho and areas of north central and northeastern Washington. When you take a look at this, 70 degrees right now. We've got the winds out of this north-northeast right now at 8 miles per hour. When you take a look at the air quality, the AQI is at 37. That means we have good air quality. So I love that. You know, we started off the work week with moderate air quality. We'll look for an overnight low of 44 tonight, 76 the expected high tomorrow. So that's a really beautiful day as we make our way towards the long holiday weekend. 83 on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. Remember I had Labor Day at 79? Yeah. Big smile on your face, Whitney Ward. We're at 84 degrees. I'll fill in the rest of the blanks with your 7-day outlook. That's coming up in just a few minutes. And wow, what a beautiful day for tomorrow being the big day for a lot of kids, Spokane Public School students returning to the classroom for the new school year in person this year. This comes after more than a year of virtual and hybrid learning models due to that coronavirus pandemic.
It's been a rough year, that's for sure. And some COVID-19 restrictions do remain in place. Our Ian Smay is joining us now live in the KREM 2 newsroom just to talk about what students can expect when they get back into the classroom tomorrow. Hi, Ian.
Hey guys, as you said, some restrictions will remain in place for students this year, and most of them have to deal with distancing guidelines. This year, the requirement for classrooms is down to 3 feet from the 6 feet it stood at last year. That means that most classrooms can now hold more students than last year. And for younger students in elementary schools, for example, kids can also go back to sitting at shared tables, and they can face each other again after last year's restrictions required them to all be facing the front of the classroom.
Well, good to know, Ian. Now that the distancing requirement for classrooms is now in effect, are we going to see similar rules for places such as hallways like we did last year?
Yeah, great question, Tom. And the answer is a little bit more complicated when you leave the classroom. SPS students in the younger grades won't have to worry about social distancing or staying in small groups for things like recess and PE classes. Last year, elementary students would only be allowed to play in certain areas outdoors each day and had to only interact with small groups of classmates. This year, that is no longer the case. They will be free to interact where they want and with whoever they want. Now, when it comes to indoor areas like hallways, there are a few ways schools are trying to keep distance between students. At Longfellow Elementary, for example, the principal says they have taken deliberate steps in scheduling to reduce congestion in hallways. And over at Shadle Park High School for the older students, the principal says it's more about asking students to be vigilant when it comes to congregating in hallways and less about enforcing rules or creating lanes.
Ian, before you go, one of the biggest questions that we have by far seen from a lot of parents is where their kids are going to have to wear those masks. So what we're wanting to know is, are students going to be expected pretty much to keep those masks on all day long inside the school?
Yeah, and that's another great question, and the answer is it really depends on where you are. Due to Governor Inslee's mandate, students and staff both will have to wear masks indoors most of the time. One exception for schools is during lunch, and SPS has said students won't have to wear masks while eating. Last year, students were expected to wear the mask when they were actively eating or drinking, which means in between taking drinks or taking bites. That won't be the case this year. When it comes to where students are eating lunch, though, that again depends. One example is at Longfellow Elementary School, where the plan is for students to eat in their classrooms. Also, when students are outside between classes or during recess for younger students, they won't have to wear masks. Coming up at 5 tonight, I'll have more on what will happen if students show symptoms of COVID-19. But for now, back to you guys.
All right, another good question. Thanks very much, Ian. All right, it was the first day of school also for tens of thousands of Western Washington students. In fact, 37 districts welcomed kids back to school today, and they're already dealing with transportation issues. So dozens of bus routes were delayed today in Seattle, some by more than 2 hours, all because of a driver shortage. So in Pierce County, bus drivers with the Bethel School District are walking out, saying they do not want to be forced to get the COVID vaccine.
Well, today we want to see your back to school photos. We've been asking for them all day long now. So here's a look at some that we've already received today, and they can be from today or from even 30 years ago. Yeah, we're not picky. Just send them in by texting them to us at 509-448-2000, and we would be happy to air them right here on KREM 2.
Very cute. Don't go anywhere. KREM 2 News will be right back.